The mist hanging over the highest peaks of the United Kingdom often carries with it a sense of ancient endurance, a quiet reminder that some of the greatest battles are fought not in the public eye, but in the silent, unrelenting spaces of personal resilience. In the realm of public life, where every movement is scrutinized and every appearance is catalogued by millions, there are moments that transcend the usual expectations of duty and ceremonial tradition. It is within these moments that true character is revealed, shifting the narrative from one of passive endurance to active, determined triumph. When a figure known globally for elegance and poise decides to step away from the polished corridors of conventional responsibility and face the raw, unyielding elements of nature, the world stops to watch, sensing that something deeply profound is unfolding beneath the surface. This is not merely a story about a physical trek through some of the most demanding landscapes in Western Europe, nor is it simply a standard charitable endeavor meant to fulfill a public relations quota. Instead, it is a narrative deeply rooted in a personal journey of recovery, a symbolic reclamation of strength, and an intimate testament to human willpower when faced with the ultimate uncertainties of health and life. To truly understand the gravity of what has recently transpired across the rugged terrains of Scotland, England, and Wales, one must first appreciate the delicate balance between public expectation and private vulnerability that has defined the recent chapters of this global journey. If you find yourself compelled by stories of profound personal triumph and the hidden depths of those who shape our contemporary world, consider subscribing to this channel to follow this unfolding narrative across its subsequent chapters, ensuring you do not miss the intricate details of this extraordinary journey. The challenge itself is legendary among endurance enthusiasts, a grueling test known as the National Three Peaks Challenge, which demands that participants conquer the highest summits of three distinct nations within a strict enforced 24-hour window. This is an undertaking that pushes even seasoned mountaineers to their absolute physical limits, requiring not only immense cardiovascular stamina, but an unyielding psychological fortitude to endure sleep deprivation, rapid elevation changes, and the notoriously volatile weather of the British Highlands. To attempt such a feat under ordinary circumstances is noteworthy. But to do so following a period of intense personal adversity and medical challenges elevates the endeavor to an entirely different plane of human achievement. The journey begins in the shadow of Ben Nevis, the towering giant of the Scottish Highlands, where steep, rocky paths ascend into the unpredictable clouds, presenting an immediate and punishing obstacle to anyone bold enough to cross its threshold. From there, the path leads southward to Scafell Pike, the highest and perhaps most deceptively treacherous peak in England, characterized by its sharp, loose, scree fields and technical terrain that tests the stability of every single step. The final leg of this exhausting trilogy culminates in Wales at the summit of Snowdon, a place of majestic beauty but equally unforgiving slopes, where the physical accumulation of 23 miles of walking and thousands of feet of vertical climbing threatens to overwhelm the body entirely. Yet, as the world would soon discover, the preparation for this monumental effort was marked not by grand announcements or theatrical displays of athleticism, but by a quiet, meticulous focus on the essential elements of survival and performance on the trail. In the high-stakes environment of mountain endurance, the line between success and failure often rests upon the most practical decisions, specifically the gear and apparel chosen to withstand the relentless friction of the earth. Observers and equipment experts quickly noted that every detail of the wardrobe was selected with functional precision, prioritizing durability and protection over mere aesthetic appeal, signaling a serious and deeply committed approach to the mission at hand. The foundation of this preparation was centered on footwear capable of delivering immediate comfort and uncompromising traction across slick wet stone, shifting gravel and muddy inclines, a choice that would become the literal bedrock of this historic walk. As the clock began to tick down and the 24-hour window opened, the transition from a private struggle to a public monument of endurance began to take shape against the backdrop of the wild British landscape. The ticking of the clock serves as an unrelenting antagonist when attempting to conquer the 3 highest peaks of the United Kingdom in a single day, transforming a physical test into a high-stakes race against time and exhaustion. As the journey transitioned from the theoretical planning phase into the harsh reality of the terrain, the immense scale of the National 3 Peaks Challenge began to weigh heavily on the expedition party. The first true test materialized on the steep, unforgiving slopes of Ben Nevis, where the Scottish Highlands presented their characteristically brutal elements, forcing the hikers to maintain a relentless pace despite the rapidly thinning air and slick, moisture-laden granite beneath their feet. Every vertical foot gained was a battle against muscle fatigue. Yet the Princess of Wales pushed forward with a quiet determination that surprised even the seasoned guides accompanying the group. It was during this initial ascent that the critical importance of specialized equipment became undeniably apparent, as the rugged terrain demanded footwear capable of withstanding extreme friction and providing absolute stability on treacherous inclines. Observers closely following the expedition noted that her choice of footwear was the Scarpa Terra GTX waterproof boots, a rugged and highly reliable design crafted from premium water-resistant leather and equipped with an advanced Vibram sole specifically engineered for maximum traction on unpredictable trails. This particular model is renowned within the mountaineering community for delivering exceptional out-of-the-box comfort, a feature that proved vital as the team completed the grueling descent of Ben Nevis and immediately transferred to the transport vehicles to begin the long southbound journey toward England. The transition between the peaks offered no true rest, as the cramped confines of the moving vehicle served as the only environment for brief muscular recovery and mental preparation for the next phase of the ordeal. By the time the expedition arrived at the base of Scafell Pike in the Lake District, darkness had fallen, enveloping the highest peak in England in a dense, deceptive shroud that magnified the inherent dangers of the rocky trails. Navigating the steep scree fields and loose, shifting stones of Scafell Pike in the dead of night required absolute concentration, where a single misstep could result in a debilitating injury and bring an abrupt, disappointing end to the entire charitable mission. The atmosphere turned intensely focused as the team relied on headlamps to pierce the thick gloom, watching each footfall with meticulous care while the biting mountain wind tested their psychological endurance. To maintain the necessary speed to beat the 24-hour deadline, Middleton paired her high-performance footwear with the North Face Summit Series Pacersetter shorts, a lightweight and flexible design built specifically to allow unhindered movement during high-intensity mountain endurance endeavors. This athletic attire was completed with a simple, functional black t-shirt, a utilitarian wardrobe that signaled a total departure from royal luxury and a complete immersion into the raw, egalitarian reality of extreme physical survival. The tension mounted with every passing hour as the midnight air grew increasingly cold, forcing the participants to draw upon their deepest reserves of inner strength and focus entirely on the broader purpose of their collective effort. This was not a performance for the cameras, as the vast majority of the trek occurred far from the public gaze in the isolated, windswept wilderness, where celebrity status offers no protection against the elements or physical pain. The sheer physical toll of walking 23 total miles and climbing thousands of vertical feet began to manifest in acute joint soreness and profound physical exhaustion. Yet the group pressed onward through the darkness, driven by the knowledge that every step was raising critical funds and awareness for a vital cancer charity. As the first faint light of dawn began to break over the horizon, signaling the final hours of the strict 24-hour window, the expedition party finally crossed the border into Wales, facing the third and final monument of their extraordinary trilogy. The majestic slopes of Snowdon loomed in the distance, representing both the ultimate obstacle and the final gateway to an almost unbelievable achievement, setting the stage for a dramatic conclusion to a journey that had already tested the absolute limits of human endurance. The final ascent up the slopes of Snowdon in Wales represented far more than the closing miles of a grueling physical itinerary, transforming instead into a profound emotional and symbolic climax for a journey that began in the depths of personal health adversity. With the 24-hour deadline looming large, the accumulated physical exhaustion of the previous two peaks threatened to halt progress. Yet the sight of the final summit injected a vital surge of adrenaline into the weary expedition party. As the Princess of Wales navigated the ultimate vertical miles of the 23-mile trek, the significance of the endeavour crystallized, shifting the focus from a mere athletic feat to a powerful message of hope for millions facing their own medical battles worldwide. This monumental effort was explicitly dedicated to exploring life beyond a daunting diagnosis, turning a private period of recovery into an inspiring public monument of resilience that raised substantial funds for an essential cancer charity. Upon successfully reaching the final summit, well within the strict time limit, the atmosphere of intense tension dissolved into a profound sense of shared triumph and relief, captured beautifully in raw, authentic photographs later shared on the royal family's official Instagram account. These historic images did not feature the traditional, polished veneer of royal protocol, but rather depicted a family celebrating an extraordinary human achievement, as Kate Middleton was seen rejoicing alongside her husband, Prince William, and their children. In a deeply moving statement published alongside the visual documentation of the trek, Middleton explicitly articulated that she had taken on the National Three Peaks Challenge not simply as a physical endeavour, but as a deliberate chance to give something back to the community and to demonstrate that a medical diagnosis does not define the limits of human potential. The public response to this achievement was immediate and overwhelming, sparking a massive wave of global admiration that extended far beyond the traditional boundaries of royal commentary and deeply resonated with everyday individuals navigating their own recovery journeys. Interestingly, the practical details of the historic hike also captured the intense interest of outdoor enthusiasts and consumer product analysts globally, who quickly recognized the exceptional quality of the gear that made such an extreme endurance feat possible. The Scarpa Terra GTX waterproof boots, which provided the literal foundation for the 23-mile journey across 3 nations, instantly became a viral sensation, causing them to sell out rapidly on the manufacturer's official digital platform. Consumer gear experts noted that this particular model has long held a legendary status among serious long-distance hikers, boasting a near-perfect 4.8-star rating from thousands of dedicated customers who praise its robust, water-resistant leather construction and specialized Vibram sole. To put the durability and comfort of these boots into perspective, product reviewers highlighted the documented testimony of an Appalachian Trail through hiker who successfully wore a single pair of the exact same style for the entire journey from Georgia to Maine, proving its elite manufacturing standards. Similarly, the North Face Summit Series Pacer-Setter shorts, worn during the trek, experienced a parallel surge in consumer demand, as individuals sought to replicate the lightweight, high-performance wardrobe built to withstand the rigorous demands of elite mountain exploration. Ultimately, the lasting legacy of this incredible weekend challenge lies not in the consumer trends it generated, nor in the sheer physical records broken across the peaks of Scotland, England, and Wales, but in the unforgettable narrative of an individual reclaiming their strength on their own terms. By stepping away from the protected comfort of traditional roles and actively confronting the rawest, most punishing elements of nature, the Princess of Wales delivered a timeless testament